Well, good morning. This is my first day of bass season, and I've had a smile on my face ever since I got out of bed this morning. It's Father's Day, 2021. Heading out onto one of my very favorite bass lakes. I've driven up into Leonard County, and we're going to go for a little paddle and head into a bay that I know, and we'll see if the fish are there. And if they are, it could be a really good morning. Alrighty, first bass of the season. There we go. And that didn't take long. Not long at all. Been casting for about 5 minutes. And this guy picked it up pretty quick. There we go. Very nice. Nice way to start things off. Hello, buddy. Hopefully we'll have many more like you. And we're on our second fish. They're up on this flat, that's for sure. I'm not sure if this is a bass though. Oh yeah, it is. There we go. And fish number 2 in the boat. We'll get him back in the water. And we're on our third fish of the day. No real big ones yet, but that's all right. Having a great morning. I've been out here for, half an hour. 3 fish in the boat already. There we go. Another of the pound version. Maybe a little more than a pound. Very nice fish. We're off and rolling. I haven't even made it to the place I wanted to fish yet. This is an area in this particular lake that gets pounded pretty hard, but because it's early in the season, I can fish in here. In a couple more weeks, these bass won't be nearly as aggressive, and there quite frankly won't be as many of them either because they'll have been picked over by an awful lot of anglers. But right now, and this is part of knowing what time of the season it is and knowing your water, I can fish these areas because they haven't been heavily fished yet. Later on, we'll have to try the other territory. All right, we got our first. This is a good fish, I think. And he wanted to take me into the logs underneath the kayak here. And luckily, I've got some decent heavy line on here, and didn't let him. That's a nice fish. There we go. A couple of pounds. Okay. Got into a little bit different territory here. Found something a little bigger. This guy's going to go about 14, maybe 15. Yeah, about 14 and a half. Nice fish. Alrighty, this flat is polluted with fish, but they are pretty small. I'm going to give it another couple of minutes, and if I don't start getting some bigger ones here, we'll move to some different water. Well, just when you're thinking about changing tactics, I do think this is probably a good fish. Yep, this is a solid fish. Very slight change in the retrieve on this guy. I have been just basically sort of laying it in the water and then starting to retrieve it back. But this time I hesitated a little bit, and it seems like these guys they seem to like that. It's a very nice shoreline I'm fishing here. It's I guess they're cedars or pines, and it drops off to about 5 or 6 feet fairly quickly. There's a real mix of rocks and some stumps and also some weeds, and when you find all 3 of them, that's where the bigger fish are sitting. And we got our first pike of the day. Oh my. There is an absolutely monster bass behind this pike. Whoa. Alright, good show. But my God, the bass was as long or longer than this pike, and I am not kidding. He was right beside it. Huge bass. Alright, well, we got the gloves. Oh, and there we go. He bit me off. Kind of figured that might happen. Okay. My God, that was a big bass. Maybe the biggest bass I've seen in this lake. That pike biting me off, it was actually a good chance to go to a slightly meatier lure. I'm going to go to a 10-inch worm. I had a 7-inch worm on, and I'm going to change the color as well. That's a really big fish, and I do think that a bigger chunk might entice him if he's still interested. Well, that's a pretty good lunchtime spot when you also catch fish there. Hey, he's not big, but that's all right. There we go. I had seen one swimming around here earlier. I don't think that's the same one though, because that one had a fair bit of damage. The one that I saw had a damaged jaw, so might even be another one around here. This guy was right in on the shore. Where's he got me? He may have me on a log here. This might be a difficult job landing this guy. He's got some size to him. And he did manage to get me under a log. Damn it, I'm probably going to lose this fish now. Oh, he's still there. He's still there. Alrighty, good. Let's get the weeds off him. Alright, dude, you don't want to concoct. Whoa, you got the hook right in your lower jaw. There we go. Now that's what we're looking for. That's a hog. Now, that's what we've been waiting for today. Eh? Look at that fish. 2.5, maybe 3, somewhere around there. Running around 16.5 or 17 inches. Happy place. So I think maybe we've hit on something here for an afternoon pattern, because our morning pattern certainly changed awful fast when the sun got up and all the boats hit the river. But right now I've switched from casting in and around scattered weeds in about, anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7 feet of water. I'm casting up into shady spots on the shoreline now, and each shady spot seems to hold a fish. The interesting thing is that most of the other boats are fishing deeper holes, which is also a good strategy in the summertime when the water warms up. But I don't know what kind of success they're having, but I'm doing okay. Alright, well, it's been a while. Just lost a fish on a worm. So I thought maybe because I'm in real shallow, if I went to a craw, that might entice another bass, and sure enough it did. First cast. Not a big one. We're not getting big ones today, but that's, I don't know, 10 or 11 fish in the boat, so pretty good day. I got one deep in the lily pads and I gotta get him out. Oh, there we go. Got him up. Got his head up. And he ain't very big. Just a little guy. So that last bass, when I say I caught him in deep lily pads, I caught him in deep lily pads. If he'd been a big guy, I'd have had a real challenge. Well, the switch to the crayfish is definitely making a difference. The fish are popping out and hitting it. Again, not big ones, but at least we're catching them in the middle of the day in the heat. I went to a smaller offering just because it's afternoon, it's hot, and maybe these fish aren't going to be quite as active, and add a little flash to it as well. And ever since I've done this, I've been getting a bunch of hits, so I think it's mainly the small fish, but the big ones, they'll want it. They'll want it too. Alrighty, well, hey, it's a sunfish. He came up out of the water about 6 times. Man, was he ever acrobatic. I think they'll be hard to get a hold of. Little tiny mouths. There we go. Alright, well, now we might have something interesting here. This feels like a smallmouth or a largie. A little more substantial. Oh yeah, it's a nice fish too. This flat is not holding the fish that it normally holds at this time of year. It's either really been fished hard, It is shallow. But, oh, that's a nice fish. Another nice fish. It's either been fished a lot harder than normal, or the low water conditions are really have really put the fish off of this particular area. Early in the season, there's usually really good numbers of fish in here. All right, now I just turned the barb in on this. This should be coming off pretty easy, and it's not. Another very solid fish. Okay, he's going to go 16 or so. Be a little bit short of 16. There we go. Alright, that's a good sign. When I first drifted through here, I was using something slightly different and didn't get anything. So I changed up my lure just a little bit, and now we're getting a fair bit of action. Going to a very nice, bright, sparkly spinnerbait. Well, I wasn't sure what we had. It was another big perch. And while I was doing that, I was looking under the boat, and a largemouth swam underneath. Hopefully there will be video in a few seconds. No, it's a nice bass. This is the next cast. Cast it in, and he just hammered it. I think I've maybe found. Oh, this is a good fish too. Good fish. Oh, and he's barely hooked. And there he goes. But I got him in my hand. He counts. And the little spinner blade. Certainly getting lots of action anyway. Including bait. Not as big as that other one was, but it's a nice fish. No complaining about this one. Get him right over here to hand real quick. There we go. Largemouth. Oh man, and look at that. That hook just slid out. Look at the gut on that guy. He's got a big tummy on him. Another 14 or 15, probably, yeah, 14 or 15. 14? He's almost 15. There we go. But you got a pretty good stringer today. Okay, I've already lost one really good fish today. I really don't want to lose this guy. He's a net fish. And he's jumping like crazy over here. Oh, he saw the net. There we go. Got him. That's a big boy. There we go. He hit, and he just flew out of the water twice. And I didn't think he was coming in here. All right. I'm going to say 16 to 17. 16 at least. Yep, he's 16. So that's second or third 16 incher we've had today. Okie dokie. I wasn't going to show any more perch, but that's a hog. That's a big perch. Good heavens. Whoops. Hey dude. No, you don't want to be in there. It's hard to get at him. And he's got a very pointy dorsal fin, which I don't want to stick me. Alright, this time, into the water. Dipstick. And picked up another bass. Not as big as the last one. It is a sunfish. Huh. I thought we had a bass. We've picked up a few more sunfish and a few more perch that I haven't put on camera. Just because we're catching a lot of these guys. Okay, that is a darn big sunfish. Really big. Well, we have been drifting our way back towards the launch and hit a weed bed, and that didn't take very long. luckily that's a, very, very luckily, because he took that awful deep. That's a hook with a barb turned down on it, so it comes out really, really easily, and we save another fish. And I've lost, maybe one fish today because I turned the barb down. That's perfectly okay. If you've been, especially okay. Especially okay today, because if you've been watching the video, it's been what you might call a pretty good day. Alrighty, second fish of our little night session here. Come on, bud. There we go. Nice, easy to remove. Good catch and release. He's got a little scar on his jaw from a previous catch, but no harm done. So we have this huge bed of grass just emerging, and then we have a slightly different weed here, a little heavier, a little thicker, and I just cast to the side of that, let it sit there, twitched it a few times, and that's where that last bass came from. All right, we got a smallmouth on, and this guy's like a 1 pound smallmouth, and he is fighting like crazy. He exploded out of the water a couple of times. Typical smallmouth. Just total attitude. Still soaking me. Hey, bud, I want to let you go. I love smallmouth. The tip of the jaw. There we are. That little wee tiny guy. Fight like a maniac. Well, it's time to call it a day. Started at around 6:15, 6:30 this morning. It is now 7:30 at night. Was off the water for probably an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour, just resting the legs, eating, having lunch, but that's still a good 12 and a half hour day on the water. I have no idea how many fish I caught. A lot. It was a hell of a lot of fun. It was an absolutely spectacular day for it. It wasn't even too hot. And now it's time to get out of here. Take care. See you next time.